Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside the Box with CJT Creations. I'm here with a special guest this week, Mr. Ian. Don't call me Daddy Zeph. And this is episode 14, and we're off to the races on the race to 100 episodes. And I must ask you, Ian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just trying to keep strong, especially with everything going on. We both are in North Carolina. Our state is starting to open back up slowly, so it's exciting, but it's also nerve wracking because you want to be safe. You want to make sure you're doing the right things, of course, and it's tough, because it's like I think a big adjustment for me has been like I went to the beach on Memorial Day and Carolina Beach, and it was so many people out there, and I just haven't been around large groups of people in so long, and I'm like, I was just shocked. Like, I really I was uncomfortable for a while, and like I normally, like when I go out, I used to go out a lot to parties and bars and stuff like that. So I was used to being out with like a lot of people. But this really kind of was a culture shock for me. It kind of made me want to go back in the house and quarantine for another 2 months or whatever. But it's an adjustment. I'm definitely adjusting to getting back to that. The only reason why I was at the beach was to get Britt's Donuts, which is this amazing mom and pop donut shop, which I actually got again today, 3 days after. But their donuts are just crack cocaine, and they're like fresh, made to order, super delicious. And that's the only reason why I went. And it was just a lot of people. There was a lot of cheeks out too. It was a very cheeky day. And I wasn't mad at that either. But
you know what they say, skies out, thighs out.
Exactly. So it was like, on one hand, I was like, man, like I didn't know how to act. I was like, wow, this is whoa. But then it's like, there's too many people like in my vicinity. But we'll get back into it.
It's kind of crazy, yeah, because you have to find that. It's like finding that balance of, I want to go out, but I want to be safe. It's like, what's that good like middle ground where it's
right.
like, hey,
what does that look like? Yeah, because we're all in a whole new world, and which is like is weird to say, like 2020 has really changed the whole landscape of living with people and interacting with people. And I felt like with the social media age, people were distancing themselves even more before then. And I think with this coronavirus pandemic happening, I think it kind of makes it easier for people to distance, especially because social media brings people together. So, and I think, more people are just going to be living through social media, but I don't know. We never really know what,
what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Even going back to what you said, when you were out in the public area and you saw groups of people, you think like, I know it's like a crazy event going on now, but this could change how people interact in general. Like, I'm sure there are tons of other people who have been inside for so long, could be extroverts, introverts, but now they're going out and they're like, I think I'd rather be inside,
Yeah, for sure.
And not necessarily due to like precautions, but just that I got used to being like not alone, but in small groups and not at like a club.
Right. You kind of used to you found a home, like, because people had to adapt. And once you adapt, then you make the most out of it, especially if you're enjoying what your routine that you get in. It's kind of hard to break out of it. Especially for me, like I'm trying to transition back into like, being more of like a social person, but like I don't want to be social. I just kind of want to do my own thing. But like I'm really looking forward to the gyms opening back up, which is like, I know I won't be the first wave of people going there, but like I know like the gym is kind of like a place that I know makes me the person I am. It helps me, it centers me back, and I've been working out, sporadically throughout this quarantine and everything like that. But honestly, it's just not the same for me. Like a good gym workout just makes me feel different, get that confidence, that swagger back,
And it gets you on that set schedule. And then not that like, not everybody runs on a schedule because everybody's different, but
right.
for a lot of people, if you have that set schedule, it really like it kind of like mentally pushes you like, hey, I'm in a good rhythm. And then once you're in that good rhythm, you're feeling good. Then when you're like feeling good, you're like doing good at like work, school, whatever. And like it goes in that big cycle of like, I guess like good mental health, I guess.
Yeah. And energy kind of just, it passes throughout, everything. And it's really, which is really good. Like, one thing bounces off the other. And so once you kind of get this one thing that gets the ball rolling, then, you got a snowball effect. Something like that.
And we make up a new word, avalanche effect.
Yeah, avalanche effect. There you go. So people want to know, Ian, how did we meet? How do we know each other? What's the history between us?
Let's see. It goes back a couple years. Good old college. We were in this we were in this one film class together, film 200.
Yeah,
and then
class.
I think it was just 200, right? Yeah, just 200 or 210. It's something, whatever.
Yeah, it was 200. Yeah.
And then we were in that, two complete strangers, just like casually going to class. And everybody in there was pretty chill, like had some admiration for film or like enjoyed it. Yeah. And then, I guess we saw each other in the class, but we kind of met like one day, a couple weeks in or something, maybe a month or two in. We were just kind of chilling. And after class, we were outside in the hallway, just kind of talking, getting to know each other. Like, whoa, this dude's pretty cool. And we just kind of like, he was cool to begin with, but it's just like, I didn't talk to him. He didn't really talk to me, but we heard each other speak up in class for like discussions. Mm-hmm. Although that one day, I vividly remember this one day after school. I think you were wearing the same like shirt, like the
squad shirt?
The squad shirt with the old Nickelodeon cartoons. Or it was, it might have been the Cartoon Network one, though. Okay. The blue one.
Oh, yeah.
The, like, light blue. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember. It's vivid. I remember. We were just chilling. And then I guess we just decided to, like, walk around and hang out, go to get, like, coffee or something. I don't really remember. But, like, what we did. But we just started, like, hanging out. And it was like, all right, cool. And then next day, same thing, head to the library, just chilling. Still getting to know each other, asking each other like, hey, where are you from? What do you like? What's like the usual like getting to know a friend thing.
Right, the 21 questions.
Just kind of vibing. And I know that we would, like the first couple of days or first day, we would just, I know we were going to like restaurants a lot and just kind of like, and you were being like a jester. You're going up like making moves, really like getting laughs out of each of our like waiters and waitresses each time we were going out, striking up some conversation. Yeah. It was exciting. And we had a couple other people who were hanging around that same time, because it wasn't just you and me right away. It was that kind of like small little group or whatever.
Yeah.
Started as like a school group. Started clowning.
Geeking out. Yeah, I think that's kind of like one of the things I feel like I'm infamous for, is just like every time we go out, because it used to, I think what was it, Kickback Jacks? Like every time, like getting like talking to girls from Kickback Jacks. It was even Might As Well too at the beginning too. I don't know if you went to, when I was at Might As Well a couple times. I know for sure me and you would definitely like.
I know it was at Kickback Jacks, yeah. Waiters and waitresses, we'd be like, yo, so how do you feel about this?
Yeah. And then like random questions. I don't know how I be thinking of these things. They just pop up into my head. Like, it was like, let me ask this person what they think. Or sometimes it's like, if we have a conversation and we're like deep in debate, I'm like, hold up. Hey, and then like ask the waitress, like, what
get that information. But what's cool is a lot of the times when we do this, mainly you, they're pretty cool about it. They like stop what they're doing. They like forget all the other tables and they're like, let me offer up my advice, Right. And like, sometimes you get some sincere advice or just some jokes, but it's cool.
That's true. Cause like, I tried to do my best. Like it's never more of like that, like that dickhead trying to be like a, a jokester kind of vibe. Like I am being funny, but it's more funny of like, like, why are you asking her? Like, she's like not in this conversation. Like, why are you bothering her? And then and the questions, I feel like the questions were pretty diverse, interesting questions that are like, wow, like that was a good question. And it makes them think.
Makes them stop and like talk to us. They're not just like, all right, let me get your water, I'm out of here.
Right, exactly. And of course, I failed a couple times. There was definitely a couple waitresses that were not feeling it. They were like,
I was like, what is this dude asking me about?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Mountains versus water. What?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. What was some of the questions I used to ask? I don't even know.
I think they were more like situational with like the people we were around and like just true. Like nonsense.
That is very true. But man, those were good times. I do remember like those are some of my best memories of us. Like every time we go to like Kickback Jack, like I used to be the spot. Like Tuesday nights had the burger night. Like
I know all the deals.
Traditions, exactly. And so I mean, of course, we'll be doing that again very soon.
Yeah.
Honestly, by July is what everything seems to be kind of ideally supposed to be kind of getting back to like regular normal, where people be able to do more stuff, which is exciting. A little nervous, at the same time about it. But we definitely started hanging out more, and then
it kind of like grew from there. I mean, it just kind of like it not exploded, but it was like we were hanging out, and it was like, all right, you want to hang out? Sure, yeah, let's hang out. Then we just started doing things, and from there, hanging out more often, doing these things, seeing some movies, just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went into live together.
Yeah, we lived together.
So who would have thought?
And they were roommates. Ooh. So yeah, that was a fun year, and like it was really cool living with you.
It was so much fun.
Honestly, I miss it, man.
Me too.
Miss it. And I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future we'll move back in together.
Yeah. In Georgia or wherever.
Ooh, maybe. And then we had because you went to Disney, which was a really cool opportunity for you. How would you, I guess, rate your experience about, or tell people about like your Disney experience that you went through?
Overall, I would rate it like pretty fairly high.
Yeah.
Not like it'd be like 9 to 8, 9, 10, somewhere up there. But this isn't necessarily like in the way that some people are like, oh, it was a good experience because I had all good experiences. I had bad experiences down there, but as a whole, you put the good and bad together and like all the growth and like understanding and just what you've kind of went through, discovered and learned.
Mm-hmm.
Like even though there were bad times and good times, it was ultimately like all together one really good time going through those lows to make the highs even better.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it definitely is a good growing experience to kind of go into a new environment that you have no idea, what you're getting into, but you just knew it was a dream to be able to work for this company and, got to meet some people from all around the world.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, and experience new things, see how wild Florida really gets and just, enjoy and grow. And then you met some really, dope friends is what I think, right?
Yeah, met some cool people. You just learn a lot. Being like thrown completely out of nowhere.
Yeah. What would you say is like the most interesting lesson you learned down there in Orlando? I had to put you on the spot.
I don't know. They're crazy people. They're like really crazy people out in the world, just doing like stupid things.
The Florida man is a real thing, huh?
Yeah, the Florida man's a real thing. And it will rain every day in the summer at 4 p.m. on the dot.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Give or take. I mean, but
yeah, it's kind of like that pattern.
Yeah.
I got you.
But really, I learned to learn more about other cultures because I was working with some people from multiple different countries and other sides of the U.S. too that I haven't even been to. Like I haven't been to Seattle or whatever on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. So I'm from over here on the East Coast. And then I also haven't been to Australia or like England or like wherever, like France, China. but then you get to talk to these people, and then they just kind of give you like their way of growing up. They're like, yeah, this is what I did growing up in the Netherlands.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh, this is what it's like in America. You just compare and contrast, and you find out that we're all more similar than one may think. We're all just humans. I mean, it should be common knowledge, but
no, but yeah, it's like sometimes it's like things you think are common, but you need to experience. You need to have that face to face interaction to kind of really solidify it, to kind to really know. Because like a lot of people like, I know this is bad for me, but is it really bad for me? And some people just need to experience it. And I think it's really dope that you were able to kind of dip your toe in a bunch of different cultures with with a lot of different people that you interacted with. Because like honestly, that's something I want to do. I want to be able to learn from other cultures and to just get more world experience. Get a little bit more seasoning on my chicken. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, that was my favorite part. Get into just like learn about other people.
That's dope, because you can, when you kind of learn from other people and get their experience, their human experience, and you can you get like a whole new meaning to life, and you'll just have a different appreciation for everyone and their struggles, their battles, things that they go through. So
it's pretty cool. Helps you, like, I don't know, there's a lot, like, humans can really relate to each other if they try. And I know there's a lot of love out there, but there's also a lot of hate, and it's just just gotta make the best of it.
Yeah, you gotta make the best out of it. Understand that we are all the same. We all still have the same makeup.
Exactly.
We are all the same. There's not much that changes us. We all bleed. We all suffer. We all have compassion for kids, and elderly and stuff like that. But it's a lot of things people choose not to see and acknowledge. And the quicker we can acknowledge that we are all the same people, the quicker we can kind of start being better as a society and a culture.
Just be kinder to one another. Because if say you're on, like, even if we were driving down the road, you and me were going on a road trip. Mm-hmm. On the left is the dark, scary road. On the right is the happy road. You can relate that to like positive and negative like actions. You could do something like mean or like be rude or whatever and go down that left like scary woods Scooby-Doo trail.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just as easy to go to the right and just give a simple compliment or just hold the door or just, you don't even have to do anything, but just not like bother or annoy anyone or just like go out of your way to do something negative. If it's just as easy to make the right choice, why not make the right choice to help improve the world, make it a better place?
Yeah, very true. Well said. So moving on to one of my favorite topics, one of my favorite subjects, or my favorite segments, you can say, of the show is music of the week. Boom, boom, boom. And of course, I think music is such a awesome just thing. Like music is like, it's beautiful it can, bring people together. And when you recommend a good song to someone, you're like, wow, that's really cool. Like I never would have thought to listen to this song, or wow, like this is amazing. And so music can just bring us together, and it's just beautiful. So I must ask you this question, Ian. What have you been listening to this week?
This week, we're going to have to hop back in a time machine, maybe go around to 1980 or so. Been listening to a lot of Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates. I don't think I've ever really, maybe I heard a song, but I'm not sure if I ever really listened to Hall & Oates.
I mean, you can play, we can play one and you can get a live reaction if you want.
A live reaction to Hall & Oates? Okay, hold up.
If you want.
What's a good song to recommend?
Let's do, let's do one called Man Eater. It's just MANEATER.
Okay.
You've probably heard this song. Maybe you have or haven't, but
okay, here we go. I found it. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah. I know this song.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this song actually.
Yeah, it's a slap.
Wait, they also did. Okay. So, all right, let me take back what I said because Private Eyes is one of my is my jam.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I've been listening to all week. I've got this playlist on, or I guess it was like the Daryl Hall and Oates like
Like this
playlist.
system kind of playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, it was like, I guess like the auto ones that Spotify creates for certain artists where they kind of like put in a bunch of their songs over various albums. And
Right.
the playlist was just this is Daryl Hall and John Oates. I guess like the best of Hall and Oates or something.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I feel like I hear a lot of music, and I like it. Especially I love '80s music. I just there's a lot of artists I just don't. I haven't put the whole thing together. Like I would just listen to songs and like, oh, I love this song, but then not know who the artist is, or I have like a lot of gaps in my knowledge when it comes to music. That's outside of like hip hop music.
Yeah, it's crazy because I do the same thing sometimes. Like I'll recognize many songs, but it's like I don't know. It's like it's just a matter of, well, where is this from? Or someone may be like, "Do you know this artist?" And I'll be like, "I'm not really sure." But then they play a song, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can recognize that."
Right.
I'm pretty good at it. Like now, for some reason, my music memory is better than say my like everyday or like cognitive memory. Like I can pick out songs and rhythms and whatever and listen to them, and then I can remember what that is. But other things like what did I have on my grocery list, I may not be able to remember. Could be like some subconscious psychological, some psychology student might know, or like professor, but
yeah,
I can pick out music. And the past couple of years I've been like pretty good at remembering who people are.
that's good. I feel like I mean I'm terrible at I feel like my short term memory is pretty bad. Like especially with like especially when you're like introducing someone and be like, oh hey, my name is this. I'm like, okay, yeah, hey Jessica, and then be like 2 minutes later, it's like, oh, what was her name again? I definitely forgot what it was.
Yeah, I'll be going way out of the park. They'll be like, "Hey, my name's Jessica." I'll be like, "Oh, hi, Wanda."
Yeah. So I think music definitely like I probably triggers like a certain part of your brain, and I think definitely have like a wider I don't
music
know.
brain.
Yeah, music. But I don't know. Yeah, like I just like so many songs like I can remember it. I could oh yeah, I remember this. Or like and especially like when they kind of like you hear a song that you haven't heard since like maybe like early 2000s, and you're like, oh wait, and then just kind of starts like formulate back in your brain. I think that's kind of cool.
Get those memories. Those like, yo, I was here when I listened to this, or this was trending.
Yes.
Or that. Sometimes you get that smell.
Wait, what do you mean that smell?
I don't know, but like a lot of people, I don't really get it. But I've had conversations with lots of people, and they're like, every time this song plays, it brings me back to like a certain smell, like a food they were eating, or like something that was popular at the time, or like sneakers that they had for like certain songs that were like big.
Yeah.
Like say like I don't know, like Jay-Z released like a sneaker way back then, along with like music at the time. When they hear that music, they like, oh, I remember that smell of when I first got like fresh new shoes, or vice versa. Or like I was in the food court and I was eating like hot dogs with the boys or something. I don't know. It hasn't really happened to me, but I think it's interesting. A lot of people tell me that they can remember smells and memories. They don't like physically remember, but they can get a sense of smell.
No, I know. I think now thinking about it, that I've had that before. I would say more likely than not, I know like Outcast has a big significant memory. I think I want to say, oh yeah, because the song that Outcast had was like a song that I played one of the first times I remember going to Disneyland or Disney World. Which one is in Florida?
Disney World.
Disney World. Because I remember we were coming from Maryland, so it's a 16-hour drive, and so we drove in a van all the way down there, and I just remember when we pulled up and we finally got there, like this was playing on. Oh, like I don't know why I still remember this. I don't even know how old I was. I was definitely like fourth grade, maybe around
That's
that
crazy
range.
about memory.
Yeah, and I just remember like every time I think of that song, I think about that trip going to like Disney World, and it's kind of cool. I think I've probably been to Disney World maybe 3 or 4 times, something like that. Can't remember. I think the last time I've been was probably freshman year of college. So I think that was the last time I've been.
We're gonna have to go together.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely down to go again. Like and experience it. Like like I think that's the cool thing about having experiences as a young child and as an adult, because it's like you remember certain special things, of course, if they were like a big memories or you did something really fun. But then like when you go as an adult, sometimes you might have to like you pay for the whole ride yourself, so you work hard for it, so it kind of means a little bit more. Or you might, as an adult, you might take your kids to it, and then you get to kind of make that memory for you. And it's just like that kind of like that contrast, back and forth of like how do you make that memory. I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet. I don't know. Every time I think about it, the mind is wild. They're like, I'll be
It's
like
so
listening to
powerful, man.
songs, and I'll be like, yo, that brings me back to 8th grade or whatever.
True. So my song of the week this week is a song by Jordan Lucas, who I can admit I wasn't a fan of at first, but the more I kept listening to his music, I became a fan. He released a song called Will, and he had this music video, pretty much about Will Smith and like how he's feeling like him, and he did this really cool music video where he kind of like dressed as like all the different characters Will Smith played, and it was really cool. And then I saw the video that Will Smith reacted to it, and him and Jaden Smith kind of was talking to Junior. I think Jaden introduced Joyner to his dad, and they were just talking it up, chopping it, and then all of a sudden I see Will remix featuring Will Smith. So I'm just like, whoa! So like Will actually like hopped on the song, and I thought that was like so cool.
That's pretty sweet.
And then you listen to it, and literally, like, Jordan Lucas does the hook, but then Will Smith is just rapping the entire song. And right when I thought he was going to stop, he kept going. Like, he killed this track, and it was really dope. He was just spitting really good, lyrics, and just talking about how he knows Jordan Lucas is going to be a star one day. I know he's going to be a great father, how he's treating his kid, and like how he's, how good of a father he is, because everyone looks at Will Smith as being one of the, better fathers, pretty much one of the greatest fathers, out there. And so it was good. This is definitely what I've been putting on repeat. I think I had to listen to it like twice, like back to back. I had to put it on repeat because I just was in shock of like how hard Will Smith came. Pause. but like, he just really kind of like, he killed this verse, and it was amazing. This is a phenomenal song. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I saw clips on like Twitter where he's dressed in like the Men in Black uniform and stuff to like mimic his characters. I haven't seen the whole video though. I just see little like GIFs, GIFs, whatever. Whatever. I don't know. That's a whole nother debate.
Right. Yeah. It's really cool. I think it's a really dope homage to someone you really appreciate, and to show love to somebody. I think that's really dope.
And then imagine that person that you like, say, like look up to or whatever, or you write something about, then they come into your life and help you create something else.
Right. And be even more successful. Like, that's a dream. That's literally like the dream of like, look at your hero kind of, being even more heroic to you. And, which is amazing. Like, because a lot of people, it's a saying that people say, don't meet your heroes because you're just going to wind up disappointed. And so, like,
need a new hero. Maybe
that's true. So, these songs that we just talked about will be on the Spotify playlist, Songs of the Week by CJT Creation. Check it out on Spotify. I have all the songs up to date as far as every episode goes. There might be a couple songs still missing, but we'll sweep that under the rug. But I just updated the playlist, so it'll be live once this podcast goes live. So awesome. So being us being filmmakers or people who love the arts, creative.
We like to watch things, do it, all of the above.
Exactly. I thought it'd be a great idea this episode. Let's do a live reaction to one of the most talked about movies coming out soon by one of the most world-renowned directors, Christopher Nolan, and his movie Tenet. And
all right.
Everyone has been talking about how insane, like how this movie is like Inception on steroids. And fun fact, I literally just read this before we started this. Christopher Nolan in the movie Tenet actually crashed a 747 airplane in a air winger or airliner thing. I don't know, place they, store airplanes under.
Oh, like the hangar bays or whatever.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. And they said they did it because it was more economically, it made more sense to do it than to do CGI, because I think it probably would have been either cost more money or be more, or have way more time consuming or more money to put into like having to do CGI and then do all different angles versus just actually crashing it and doing it in real life.
Yeah,
it's just like
that raw footage.
Yeah, like that's pretty cool. Like that's stuff like you see in the 90s, like action movies where you just get like 30 different angles. They just load up 30 different cameras to do this like real live stunt, and like them jumping or making something explode, which is pretty awesome, which I really enjoy. But yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm a big Christopher Nolan guy.
Same. I mean, Dark Knight trilogy is definitely some of my favorite movies. Like I don't know, I just have really vivid memories about watching that as a kid. And I've told a couple people this, but like I don't know what it was. Like I think watching Dark Knight in theaters made me want to like make movies. Like that was the film that really just like, I don't know, I just how I felt. I remember I had to go to the bathroom during that movie, and like I just was like walking out the bathroom and coming back into the movie theater. I was like, I don't know, I just like I stopped and like as a little kid just cheesing so hard, like this movie is like so crazy. As I'm like hurrying, trying to get back to like watch it again. This is definitely one of the most influential movies that I've watched in my life growing up. So let's see here. Let's pull this bad boy up. All right.
Dude, I have no idea what this is about. I don't know if anybody knows.
I don't know either, but I'm super excited to watch it. I don't even think I watched the full trailer through. Maybe I think I have the first one, but this is the second trailer that just came out a week ago. As what's today, May 27th. So
I have an idea of like what it is supposed to be, I guess, or what I've heard, but I'll say that after. I'm not trying to like impose thoughts in your head.
All right, let's do it. Let's play it.
All I have for you is a word.
You can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure. Okay, sorry. Here we go. For real this time.
Tenet. It'll open the right doors. Some of the wrong ones, too. Use it carefully.
Well, how big a plane? That part is a little dramatic.
Nice.
I love how it's like it like stamped that it's coming to theaters.
I know. He always films on like IMAX cameras too, so it's pretty cool.
That was like super intense, and I wonder if this movie is tied in with the new Batman movie that's supposed to come out.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because like that's the same guy, right? Who's playing Batman, and then Christopher Nolan obviously has ties to the Dark Knight trilogy.
Maybe that could be. I didn't think of that, but
yeah, that's something that just like popped in my head as we was watching it, and like I don't know, it's I still don't really know what's it about. I think it's like they're trying to fight. They're fighting a battle of time. So they're like, it's like time is constantly reversing itself, or there's like something that was made that makes time reversing itself. So they're trying to figure out how to stop it.
I don't know. There's a lot of confusion in it.
Like obviously the Inception vibes are, make sense. The comparisons, because like it's very trippy, and it's like probably can be a lot of like conspiracy theories and bunch of fan theories. Probably what people do watch this film. Which Denzel Washington's son, I think it's John Washington. I think it's his first name.
I think so.
He's starring it, which is really cool. It's cool seeing him.
I think he's the main dude. I think so.
It's really cool seeing him like getting some starring roles or whatever.
But let me be like Dad, or let me not be like Dad. Let me do
better.
my own thing. Exactly.
I know I saw him he was on Ballers, which is an HBO show.
With like the Rock show?
Yeah. I think that's what I first saw him at. And then he was a Black Klansman, which was with Spike Lee. So he's been, getting some roles and starting making a name for himself, which is really cool. So yeah. That was really I'm pretty sure this will be a phenomenal movie.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, but there's like I don't know what to expect, which is also really good because like
I just hope the like theaters open where it's like, I mean, if I don't see it in theaters, it wouldn't be the end of time, but I want to go see that like in a theater. But at the same time, I'm not trying to be around a lot of people.
That's a late night movie situation, 10 o'clock showing.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like the sound design for that movie would probably be insane. Like there's certain movies you just have to watch in theaters. Like Tenet is definitely one of those movies. Like unless you have like a home theater system at your house or whatever, like you need to watch this one in theaters. Like I felt like A Quiet Place was did A Quiet Place 2 already come out?
Oh, I think it was maybe like scheduled to or supposed to, but the whole whatever's pushed it back because a lot of things have been pushed back to like 2021 or later this year.
Right. Because like A Quiet Place is a movie that I watched in theaters and was one of the more like intense movie watching experiences that I ever had. And it was just not from the fact of like the content, but it's just literally like the sound design and how quiet it was in that movie theater. And I went with a bunch of college people too. I went to the AMC to see. Did I go with you? Were you with me?
I don't know. I think I saw it. Like on my. I think everybody already saw it or something. I saw it on my own or something. Because I remember being like alone in the theater and not hearing anything except like foot tapping and whatever.
Yeah. I went with it was like a bunch of people, like it was a packed theater when I went. And so it's like, of course, you'll hear those like, people like talking or whatever, eating popcorn or something like that. But it's like when you're eating popcorn and you're like conscious of your eating because it's that quiet and watching the movie, it's just like, it makes me tense. And I think I don't know why, that's just like the most memorable like experience I've had watching the movie. Like I've had times where like I laugh my behind off watching like Deadpool or something like that, or Tag, or like those are movies I saw in theaters I can remember recently. And like, Star Wars, I enjoy watching Star Wars, Avengers, and Incredibles 2 and stuff like that. But like I don't know, watching A Quiet Place was just like it was just intense. It was super intense. like I appreciate the sound design, just being a film geek and a film nerd. Like you appreciate, how they did it and how much it added to the overall experience. And I think I watched it again with some family members on vacation that year at a rental property, and like it wasn't the same experience, because they were trying to. It's like it's just quiet. Like, what's going on? But like you don't hear those low hums of like the speakers can produce. And so most people are just confused and just like it's just quiet. I don't get it. Or maybe you need to wear it with headphones on. Like maybe watch it on a laptop or something, or get you like headphones. Maybe that might be a good idea. Getting Bluetooth headphones and singing to a smart TV. And that probably might be the cheapest option than buying like a subwoofer. You'll definitely get a really intimate experience actually watching that. That might be something I might invest in. Honestly, that kind of sounds cool. Just like sitting here just watching TV with my headphones on, because like if you get a good pair of headphones, I mean the sound quality is like you look at like what's that Elmo thing, But yeah, I think that'd be really cool because I don't know. I think there's definitely a list. Like 1917 was a movie that I had to see in theaters. Like war movies, I think have a different element of just like being there.
Big screen, small screen, the sound, like all the little sounds too, like the little like bullets falling or anything really.
And especially the surround sound vibe too. So you can just hear just on this side of like someone's talking or something, like you hear something approaching, but it's only coming from over here. So you're like looking, it's like, oh, what's happening? Like that same thing, like playing like Xbox games, like playing Call of Duty or like Fortnite or something like that with headphones on, and you hear the sound, you can hear like which way it's coming from. It heightens your senses a little bit. It's a butt clencher. Like you clench your butt a little, you're kind of a little bit nervous. But yeah, those definitely like a movie that you have to see in theaters.
I know, it's so good. It always reminds me, like, I don't know, the sound design in movies is so good sometimes, like just hearing like a plane come out of nowhere on like the right side rattling, but then like a car crash on the left. It's pretty cool.
It is. And it's amazing like how how much it can affect movies, like because you can have people with crazy like audio and sound is so pivotal to movies, and if you have really good sound, I think it makes it like even not just sound, but like soundtracks, like something that Quentin Tarantino does, and there's other directors who like really invest in the soundtracks and the music. I think one of the movies that I watched recently, how can I think of the name? Uncooked, Uncorked, Netflix movie. I did a Virtual Club movie review on my IG. Definitely check that out. But it's a really cool movie that it's like I had no idea what it was. So then watching it, it was trending on Netflix. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try because other people are seem to be liking it. And then as soon as I start watching it, what do I hear? I hear some Young Thug playing in the soundtrack. And I'm like, hold up, Young Thug? Okay. Like that shifted me from like kind of on the fence, don't know how this movie's going to go, to like, oh, I'm definitely in here because that vibe, it sets the tone, it sets the mood for the movie. And then this movie was an amazing movie. It was just good, a really good story being told. Like I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it just came out this year, 2020. It's a Netflix movie. And so like, and that was such a, a huge thing. It's like that. It was a song that like I liked, or at least an artist that I really like, helped welcome me into the movie because I know that sound. And like, and if that director, that producer can, pull from that type of music, I can see where the story is going to. Like, say with Quentin Tarantino, like how, his soundtracks are like, sells a lot of records, just because he puts really, mainstream popular music into his music. I mean, into his movies, which is amazing.
And then some movies even revolve all around music. Like they rely on soundtracks for like the movie. Oh, wait, that reminds me of that movie like Baby Driver, where that dude's just always on he's on his iPod, and that's what like it goes to like the tone of the beat, his driving style and everything.
I need to rewatch it. I still haven't rewatched it. I think it's on Showtime, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I've been wanting to rewatch a movie again because like that's like exactly what I thought about. I thought that movie had really good sound design and the soundtrack, and it added like another element to that movie that makes it rewatchable because you just kind of want to especially when you watch it again, you're like, oh yeah, this song, and it's just like it brings those memories back when you first watched it. I'm trying to think. It was. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Hold on, what was I just about to say? Something about a soundtrack. I lost it. I completely lost it. I think it had to do with Tarantino.
Young Thug, Tarantino, yeah.
Something like
you were talking about popular, how he incorporates like popular hits.
Yeah,
music.
I think, or at least for me, I think something what I want to do once I kind of have like a narrative film that is kind of having this range and I'll be able to have the budget to do it. Is like I want to incorporate, mainstream hip hop music, and I think because hip hop music is becoming the pop music of this generation, and I think that's going to be kind of like my stamp. I want to, cause I think that's something I think, you can bring in a cult following of people who really like that music. And then it's like you bring people who really like music and people who really love movies and then bring them together to make the super cult. And I think that'd be really cool.
Now you get fans of each one. Someone who doesn't know much about the other might be like, yo, this is pretty cool. Now I'm going to branch out and watch movies, or this is pretty cool. Now I'm going to listen to this music.
Exactly. I got it. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. That all runs on the soundtrack. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I thought that was really cool. And, especially people who like grew up loving that music. And like those songs were like popular enough to where you've definitely heard them like commercials or something like that. But it make younger generation like, oh, this is really catchy. Let me go, research this and let me check this out myself. Stuff that is like popular enough to, make you interested and go check it out extra. And then you will love that movie because you'll love the music because this movie brought you on, or vice versa. You'll love this music because this movie, you love this music because, oh my God, I can't talk. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just so much power in that, man. So much power in art.
Bringing people together.
It's bringing people together, and transition to one of the main events of this podcast and something that someone I truly love is Shia LaBeouf. And I'm a huge Shia LaBeouf fan, and I think the next movie I need to watch of his is Peanut Butter Falcon, which I'll probably be looking for that pretty soon to watch. But a movie I recently watched, and I guess this will be our official virtual movie club reaction and review. It's Honey Boy, and Honey Boy is one remarkable movie that
should we run down like a quick plot theme of the movie?
Yeah. So
for people who haven't seen it.
So if you haven't seen it yet, Honey Boy is a movie that Shia LaBeouf wrote that is based off of his life and his dad. And it's like how it's about him going through some of his worst times of being in rehab and dealing with the trauma that he had with his growing up that he had with his dad, if that makes sense. Does that sound right?
Just his struggle to relate to his dad, or just how they live together, but how they work, like how they operate. Is it easy? Is it hard? It's just a story of that journey.
Yeah, and it kind of honestly, this was like, it was a tearjerker. I think once I finished watching it, I definitely was shook. I was more shook of what I was like digesting it and watching it. I just felt like, like I felt like all of like because I follow a lot of Shia LaBeouf stuff. I watched interviews that he's had, and like I watched him like doing the press run for this movie, and like he's had a lot of issues with his dad because I mean if you watch the movie you'll see that like he has or his dad has a lot of, I would say, maybe regret of not making it himself as an actor. And I feel like he tried to almost live it through his son, but he's also jealous of his son of having the career that he always wanted. And his dad just was a rodeo clown, and so which is insane. He wants to be an entertainer, but he have entertainment in another form of it, and yeah, it was a really insane movie. I think so. I really love the cinematography in this. There were some really dope moments in the end where it's like really retrospective of him, like kind of like I guess finally making amends of each other, like understanding each other. Because it flash forwards. It's like two storylines, but they're
it's
all
like
connected.
A split timeline.
Yeah,
and it's like him just in the future and then flashbacks, I guess.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, him who had to go into rehab back in 2005, and then him back in 1995 as a kid, growing up with his dad, where his dad was his guardian, and he would be the person taking him to like the movie sets, and him starting to break into the industry. And then those really uncomfortable times he had in the in therapy and stuff like that, and how he's just learning and about his dad, and how at first he just didn't want to talk about it. Like, why do you want to bring up this pain, it's trauma? I think one of the more let me see if I can remember this line. This line really got me. It's like, my dad gave me trauma, and like that's the only thing I have that connects us, that helps me with my acting or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, that's how I can relate to my craft. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but he was like, that's how I become an actor, through all the pain I was caused.
Right, and which is like sad because like your dad caused you pain, but you use that pain that he caused you to bond you together in a way through acting to make you such a good actor. And that's kind of like I'm getting goosebumps. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but I got goosebumps just talking about that, because that don't kind of hit a little different. Man, like I don't know. Shia LaBeouf, I think the way he acts is from the heart. It is very genuine, but at the same time he doesn't. I don't know. I watched a round table with him and a bunch of other awesome people like Jamie Foxx, Tom Hanks, some other people like in there as well. And just like I just watched. I mean, honestly, like I was hearing all the great stuff. I think Samuel L. Jackson might have been there too. I was like watching and then just watching him, how he's just such a student of just people, and just how he listens and he's really into it. But then when it comes to him having to talk and him have to kind of like talk deeply about himself, it's kind of Robert De Niro was also in it. I don't know. Robert De Niro. Oh, you said cool.
Yeah, I said cool. Yeah,
I think you said who. But anyways, yeah, I just like seeing him, how he like actually when he talks himself, it's just like it's almost a little guarding. Like he rather kind of be that student. He rather put out the art versus they can talk about it, and kind of like you want people. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's kind of like how Adam Driver was also in there too, and how Adam Driver is like he hates watching himself, watching his work. Because of course, you're your own critic. I think he has like a phobia of it or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Where he's just,
I think I've seen that, yeah. And people try to like prank him by like putting clips of him on on interviews and stuff, and he like freaks out or he just runs away.
Yeah, which is like, that's just, I don't say it's insane, but it's like one of those things where it's like you're your own worst critic, and so you can literally drive your own self crazy, or if you just hate yourself, or you hate the art that you put. Like, I don't know. It's weird because I feel that I relate to it, because
like underlying themes of insecurity that anyone can really relate to. Because like any kid waking up in like middle school or whatever every day, they're like, I got like a pimple on my head. I I hate the way I look, or like, why is my hair red? Why is my hair black? You know?
Yeah, that's true. And like I felt that way with a lot of my work that I did, like especially in film school. Like, like I would work. I'd be, such a perfectionist, trying to like, get it just perfect. And then like like when of course when you get deadlines, when you have to give it up, it's like like I want to do this, this, and this to it, and I just hate it. But then like when you get a good reaction from it, it's like okay, this is cool. People liked it. But it's like one of those things you kind of like. I don't know like how to put it, but like you kind of have to get over your perfectionism and just let it go once you get into a good point, and B, I have to step away from a project and just kind of let it be what it is, and then move on to the next project, and I used to always just hate my work right after I finished. I hate it, and then one of my professors just told me like, listen, just take a couple weeks away from it. Just don't look at it for a couple weeks. Don't watch it. Like, don't be like, because you're just like, what I mean, you're just too close to the pie right now. And so
you get a second look.
Right, exactly. Go away from it. Don't look at it. Don't even think about it. Come back and watch it, and then tell me. And then you figure out if you like it or not later. And every time, for the most part, like I've watched all my stuff back, I'm like, I've enjoyed my work because it was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Like I was being just too hard on myself, too critical. Which is like I can do really good stuff. And I think us as humans, we do have that flaw of just kind of being the person who's going to bear the bad news the most, or you're going to be your worst critic because you see it every day, or you see yourself every day. You might hate yourself because you see everything, and you like you magnify it more than other people magnify things.
Exactly.
So. And it's one thing I'm learning with my art and a lot of other aspects of my life is kind of just taking it slow and just like appreciating it. And like I've had those little things of just all right, just let it go. There's some things you just have to let it go, and then you work on it later, or you appreciate it later, take some time away from it, and come back to it. And I'm trying to take that aspect in a lot of different things in my art and my different projects that I put out. And that's why it's so hard for me to put out certain things. Like there's certain projects that I'm working on right now that I'm like. I'm such a perfectionist about it. Like, I don't think it's going to be good. So then, like, I don't even want to put it out to the world.
And then you get stuck in that loop. It's like, well, I can make all this stuff, but at the same time, I'm going to judge everything because I know what I did wrong. So I can pick out every little thing.
Exactly.
While most other people are not going to care, or maybe they'll think it's interesting.
Right. And that's the thing. I think I've read this. I heard this from what is his name? Clint Eastwood, to where, to the average eye, a lot of people, we're not making movies for filmmakers. We're making movies for the average audience. And so they might not see that, it was like, it went blurry, like this much out of focus at the end. Like they won't even notice it. They don't pick that up. And so he only shoots things 3 times. If you get it 3 takes, it is what it is, and he moves on because a lot of stuff that we're trying to be perfectionists about won't even be a big thing, once it's edited and put all together. It's something that you wouldn't even like. You'll notice it, but a lot of people say, they wouldn't even know that it was there. So
they may not even care if they do recognize.
Exactly.
Or it could add variety. There's so many different things.
Yeah, there's so many different ways that it might add spice to your video or this or that. And, some things that you hated, when you did it, and people are like, oh, I thought it was so great. It was phenomenal. Because they like most of the time the people are tied into the story. They enjoy, the content that it is, or they just enjoy who the content is from. So, and that's a big lesson. That's a good lesson for the day, not trying to be a perfectionist. It's okay to
take
let
things
go.
one step at a time.
Exactly. Because I'm still dealing with it. I think eventually, what I want to do is I want to do more reaction type stuff, and so I got some projects in the works. I don't think I really released out there. Maybe I'll do some like reaction to some of those videos. I mean, you remember that video me, you, and Kim did?
Yeah.
Short. That was fun. I actually rewatched that recently, maybe like a week or two ago. And I was like, actually, I thoroughly enjoyed that, actually. Like, I was like, man, this was actually a little gem, like, that we made. Like, I thought it was funny. Like, I thought it was, like, a interesting story that wasn't,
just
like...
a fun afternoon.
Yeah, we filmed that with, like, 30 minutes. It was, like, real quick. And
something quick. We were just fooling around.
Yeah. And, like, you gotta do that again soon. Like, that was just... It was quick. It was, like, three of us. It was three of us. One person... Like, I was filming. You guys were my actors. And it was just, like... It was quick. But I don't know. It was a cool story of just, like, two... I think the way I would describe it is just, like, two worlds clashing or interacting together. I won't spoil too much because, hey, let's do a video. Why don't we do a reaction video a little bit later? Maybe that'll be on the channel soon, on my IG or on my YouTube channel. Be on the lookout for that. How about that? Let's have a little teaser. Be on the lookout for some reaction to some of my work, and let's do that. Because I mean, I got some like old school projects, some old videos that I've been a part of. I think I can get a lot of content out of that. There's just a lot of stuff you just don't really release. I mean, there's some stuff that's been released that's on like some old channels as well. But, you know, I never really talk about them. So that'd be pretty cool.
Reacting to years past.
Yeah, reacting to art. And hopefully maybe that'll lead to me actually releasing this next project that I have coming up that I just can't seem to finish or touch it right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just like a mental block or...
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's because it's a tougher subject for me. It's about self-care.
Gotcha.
And it's a letter to self-care and to personally my self-care, really. Honestly, I'm like making this mostly for myself. And I want to watch this later down the road to kind of like give me some type of hope or whatever. But like maybe it might be beneficial to others. And who knows? But I don't know. It's just something small that I wanted to do and want to produce just because I want to just keep putting out content. And I had this idea for like a month or two now, and I just haven't put it out because it's tough. Like I filmed the stuff for it. I already have the script written to do the voiceover for. It's just it's gonna be a little tough.
Putting it set in stone.
Yeah, it's one of those tough things to press record. Well, not even press. I already press record, but it's like one of those things to like to do because I have some old footage, some really old footage of myself that I want to sprinkle in there too. That's from this like secret file in my computer I have that's like really sensitive too. So it's like I don't know. It'll be a tough edit. It'll be a tough thing to edit myself for sure.
It's personal. It hits home.
Exactly. It's very personal for me. But I think at the same time, it's something I really want to put out there. Like, I think it would be very maybe beneficial. It's like super artsy. I think it's going to be super artsy by the end of it. But I think it's also like, I think it will have more meaning to me than anybody else, honestly. But we'll get it out. And then we'll get some other projects out. Me and you can get back in the lab and knock out some more projects pretty soon.
Get scheming.
Yeah, definitely probably closer to the end of June because I know you got a lot of schoolwork with the summer classes. And I still need to finish so many projects right now that first. But yeah, man.
We can make it work though. There's much time. Big things ahead.
So many big things ahead. I'm excited. I guess we can break the tea. I'm definitely working on a second podcast number 2. What could it be? What could it be about? Who knows? Maybe down the road you'll see pretty soon. That'll be something big news coming. Of course, the self-care project I was just talking about, that's on the horizon. Hopefully I can get it done within the next couple weeks. What else do I have? Of course, more Inside the Box, more awesome new segments, reaction videos. Yeah, man. Just awesome stuff.
Some good content coming out.
Good content coming out. Definitely be on the lookout for that. It'll be really exciting. It's gonna be really awesome. It's gonna be dope. I think you guys will love it. I think you guys will enjoy. Thank you to everyone who's been rocking with me throughout this whole time. Ian, you've definitely been a big supporter. I appreciate you so much.
Of course, always a blast.
I appreciate you coming on the show with me. This will be definitely one of many
Thanks
times.
for inviting me on the podcast today.
Of course.
Hopefully I contributed.
Oh, this was great. This is a great talk. I think this is another artsy talk, a good talk for the soul, a talk that
gets it going.
It gets you going. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's what's coming up on the channel. Thank you again, Ian. Do you have any social medias or anything you want to plug? This is your time. Whatever you want to plug.
I'm not super dude. That's one thing I have to work on. I have to be more active now because I haven't really been active or anything on social media or whatever.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that next time.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll have a plug.
Exactly. So next time we'll definitely we'll plug that. But also I want to tell you to the people that Ian is an awesome creative. He done some stand-up comedy. He's really artistic with drawing. He's really dope. He can make music too. Like he's the complete package. I actually found a video of me recording a bit of your first stand-up at Dead Crow.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I found it. Nice. It's because I think it's not the whole thing, but I think it was. They told me to stop recording after a while
when they're like, "Hey, put the camera away."
yeah, which is like, dude, there's like all these other people recording and stuff. But I'm gonna send that to you. I'm gonna send that to you pretty soon.
Nice. Or maybe get a reaction.
Maybe we could do a little reaction to it, depending on how much of it is. I think. Did Will have the full video?
I think he had like a big majority of it.
Okay. Yeah, but definitely, once we get Ian back in here, we'll get him to, maybe we'll get Ian to do some stand-up for you guys. Maybe tell us a couple jokes. We'll see.
Podcast stand-up?
Yeah. That'd be weird. I mean, I don't know. Will it be weird?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's similar, just talking to people, just no audience in front of you.
Yeah, maybe.
Except that you can visually see at least.
Right. Maybe we'll go back and forth in a future episode. We'll throw out some, we'll just do some jokes or, that'll be maybe the next episode. Nice little cliffhanger, We want to bring people back in, reel them back in, you know what I'm saying?
Catch them on that line. We're eating good today. Exactly. Brought in the big fish.
Exactly. So yeah, man, thanks you again, Ian, for coming on to the podcast. Thank you all at home for listening, wherever you find your podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, all of the above. This is episode 14 on the quest to 100. Each and every week, each and every episode, we keep getting better and better. This is awesome. This is a great talk. And like always and forever, keep it creative.
Oh, I like that.